Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
They're in the computer?
This is getting out of hand.
Wow!
Strange things are afoot.
Over the potato!
Listen. You smell something?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first podcast, Clear Your History. This is a podcast designed to destroy your browsing data log and make sure you look like a crazy person to anybody that looks at your history. And you know what? They shouldn't be looking at it anyways.
Yeah, probably not.
So I am your old pal Steve.
And I am Hot Hands Megan. Who's Megan?
And so this is our first episode. And so the reason why we started this podcast is because off to a good start. We work on a website, and throughout the day, there's a lot of times when we are busy, like doing menial tasks or like doing some graphic design and stuff like that. And in the background, we like to listen to podcasts or like look up weird shit on YouTube and just go through like crazy.
I think 50% of my day is looking at weird YouTube videos from coworkers. I really think that if you broke down my time, it's 50% actual work, 50% enriching my soul.
Well, like it's in the background. We're getting stuff done. We're good at our jobs. Whatever. So we imagine that that's what our listeners are going to be doing. You guys are probably sitting at work or you're driving in your car. Ideally, we want you guys to be sitting at work listening to this so you can open up a browser and kind of dive in with us.
Incognito mode. Search history off. Not because it's like incredibly, I don't think anything that I look up is like really often gross or damning.
Yeah, it's not
just
NSFW,
kind of,
it's just weird.
It's just really weird. And it's nice to know I'm not the only one that looks up random weird stuff.
So, let's start off with the first one. Megan.
Okay, so the weird thing that I was looking up at work today came about because we went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I guess I don't really know. Kurt, the accomplice, one of the accomplices who is, I'm presuming, Russian.
Yeah, he Slavic of some sort.
Slavic of some sort, whatever. He references the Baba Yaga. And, I heard that and I was like, I don't know exactly what that is, but I remembered something about it, and I remembered it from Dungeons & Dragons. There's an adventure module called the Dancing Hut of the Baba Yaga. And it was like this really cool thing, and it could, dance between planes of existence, and I won't get too nerdy, but that was all I remembered about the Baba Yaga. I didn't really know anything else about it, so I started with... Then I got to work, I didn't remember the name Baba Yaga. I just remembered that it was a dancing hut with chicken legs, so I Googled weird Russian chicken leg hut. And lo and behold, thank you Google, the first search result was, did you mean the Baba Yaga? Why, yes, I did. Mm-hmm. And so, I started looking at this. It's basically this old crone witch that lives in the forest. It's an old... Like
the dark woods of Germany from all of our fairy tales?
Right, but this is Russia.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more brutal. She's a little bit, a little rougher.
Well, Disney really tamed them down for us.
Yeah, I mean, but like Grimm's fairy tales are rough too, but she was, ugly, dirty, bony legs, had iron teeth. In a lot of them she was evil in a sense, would eat children, things like that. But she was also, there were a lot of tales where she did good as well. So she was kind of, but it's all these conglomerate of stories about her that make her what she is. And
so is this like oral tradition?
Yeah, I mean, there's stories too written. There's like a tale called, I'm probably saying this wrong, but like Vasilisa the Beautiful, and it's typical kind of Russian Cinderella, evil stepmother. She gets sent to the Baba Yaga, and but it's actually pronounced Baba Yaga, first of all. But she saves herself by giving a cat some bacon, ultimately. I don't know. It was really involved. I listened to some Russian guy read stories for a very long time, and it was interesting. But basically, she lives in this chicken hut she lives in a hut in the forest that's on these gross chicken legs, and it's surrounded by a fence made of human bones,
Oh,
which is just kind of gross, you know.
yeah.
And the descriptions were pretty brutal.
Like
of
a bunch of femur bones?
yeah, and like skulls and stuff. Yeah.
Pretty.
It's pretty
rock and roll.
intense. It's pretty crazy. But okay, so I was like, that's pretty gross. And I was listening to all these tales, and like, this is pretty interesting. But one of the suggested links came up, and it was like other weird Russian fairy tales, okay, or other weird Russian, not fairy tales, other weird Russian
Folklore.
folklore. Yes, thank you. So I clicked on it, and it led me to something called the Bannock or the Bannock. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And it was a very short clip because it was like 20 different ones. So it was like just naming them off and what they are. Basically, what I got from this video was that it was a bathhouse monster.
Oh.
I was like, oh no. And I tried to click select suggested links, and all of them were in Russian, and so I had to, go search.
Rasputin loved those bathhouses.
Right, and I'm sure he performed some of these rituals I'm going
Little-
to talk about. I don't know much about Russia. I don't know much about Russian culture. I feel ignorant now after reading all this because I was like, I had no idea. But anyway, so I looked up the Bannock or Bannock, and steam houses, whatever they're called, are very important to Russian culture. I mean, they even have birth in them. People visit them all the time. Very, very important to their culture, and that's probably why they've developed this creature. I don't know what to call it. Spirit, as part of their culture. But it's really weird. And we have weird cultures too, like the Tooth Fairy and all that, so it's all relative. So I started reading more about it, and so this Bannock, I'm going to say Bannock, that's how I want to say it. It's a he, okay? He is described as an old man with hairy paws and sometimes long claws or nails, with a long beard, a pleasing scent, but he's also known to be rather lecherous and spies on women, especially young women, and he is known to snatch children for unknown purposes.
So we sneak around the bathhouse. He's basically like the high school hole in the wall creeping.
Yeah, he's hiding behind the stove. He's a shapeshifter in the steam.
There's a stove?
In the bathhouse, the steam house. Yeah, they have the coal stoves.
Oh, that stove.
Yeah, so he's, hiding under the stove. He's snatching your children.
Hide the kids.
Hide your wife. Hide your kids. Because this crazy ass old man bath spirit is going to snatch him.
No!
Yeah. So, these bathhouses were an essential part of their culture. They were in them all the time. Like I said, they had birth there. But they had this spirit that lived there and said that he lurked around, and that if he was offended, or you could even just be a stranger and he didn't like you, he was known to act out.
Like most old men.
Right. It was just, it's not, and they didn't say they did say he was shapeshifter and could sometimes appear in the steam, but for the most part it was looks like an old man.
Like shape-shifting as what, he wants to be like a squirrel for a second? Or...
No, you could see his face in the steam.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part he was described as being an old man.
I think they'll call those spookerinos, right?
Right, spookerinos. This is spookerino. Okay, so they had all these bathhouses, and then in the history of Russia and all that, when the Christian religion started coming along, they made a point not to put Christian icons anywhere near these bathhouses because it was said to anger the Bannock. So a lot of the bathhouse culture, which still stands today, is honoring the spirit, and they still do. Which is pretty interesting.
So you can't bring your pocket Bible in to the bathhouse.
I mean, I don't know how lax the Bonnocks now are. They may be pretty chill. I don't know. But, okay, so he's this old man, whatever. So let's just talk about some of the things that they would do. They would show honor by, they thank the Bannock when they leave the bathhouse. They make the sign of the cross when they enter it. They'll always wish their comrades a good bath. And oftentimes they'll leave offerings of soap, warm water in pitchers, and branches from fig trees. Because the Bannock also likes to bathe himself.
Isn't a fig like a sign of peace?
Yeah, but then they also beat themselves with branches, which we'll
Fuck
talk
yeah.
about later. So I don't. He is the Albert Fish of bathhouses.
Oh,
No,
God.
just kidding. So okay,
Welcome to
what?
the beaten
So that's kind of
tree.
that's some of the offerings that they regularly do. Let's talk about if what happens if what I read about if the spirit is disturbed. One of the things I read that it says, and I quote. Let me bring it up here because it's a pretty good quote, I think. Okay, amongst the punishments he could inflict, perhaps the kindest was simply a thorough dousing in boiling bathwater. An excruciating experience, to be sure, but at least survivable. Okay, so
Nice.
we've got doused in boiling bathwater. Is also known to break your neck and strangle you. He would make the steam turn into toxic coal fumes, and he was also known to claw off or peel off your skin and hang you from a ceiling. So those are some of the wonderful things that this spirit could do to you. I think they're all pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty not good. Anyways, another power that this Bonnick was known for is he could also predict the future. So, okay, this is where it gets weird. You ready for this?
Yeah.
What do you think you would do if you went to Bonnick to predict the future?
You gotta suck his dick.
Not far off. So, if you wanted to predict your future, you stand with your naked back behind. Your naked back of your body
Your butt.
toward the open door of the bathhouse. If your future was said to be good, he would gently stroke your back. If your future was bad, he would whack you with his claws or cause a tingling sensation.
Ooh, the old tingler.
The old tingler. Yeah, and apparently young women would have to do this every year around the new year to find out if they'd be having a good year or not. I'm not going to get into all the rituals of a bathhouse because I didn't super go into it, but I did learn some about the banya, and some of it they make these brooms out of oak branches, and they with the hot steaming steam, they beat themselves with these branches.
Albert Fish.
But all of them do it, not just the Bonnick. But so, okay. Anyways, I did read some stuff
What are they
about
doing with? Why are they beating themselves with these?
exfoliation. I don't know. It's like they want to beat themselves with it. They said it releases toxins or something.
So like massaging themselves
But yeah,
violently.
yes, violently,
Naked.
and then dipping in cold water after. I mean, it just sounds kind of awful. But who are we to judge about that? And so, other cultures had saunas, like the Finnish sauna. That's the word sauna is Finnish, right? I think it is. I think it's from, Finland was where, that sauna came from. And then, even in North America, some of the Native Americans had, sweat lodges. And they had elves and spirits.
we all go to the pool and we lay out at the pool and stuff.
That's not the same as a sweat lodge or sauna.
Well, but it's nicer weather.
Right, but so what I was going to say, these other cultures that do this do have spirits, but they're like fairies and they're playful. They're not a chaotic, evil, old, lecherous man.
But we're talking about
lurking in the
a
steam.
bathhouse, like the breathe, my friend, breathe, like the Halls commercial.
No, that's the sauna, right?
Yeah, but it's
I don't know. It's a lot of steam. It's coal fire, and steam.
yeah, so it's like a sauna.
Yeah, kind of.
Like an American sauna.
But they have different rituals and stuff. So I'm going to talk about, we talked about they give offerings, do the sign of the cross, thank the Bonnick. They don't, you never bathe when it's the Bonnick's turn.
I'd like to note that my eyebrows are all the way high.
Okay, I'm going to go through some rules, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I was reading through some of these rules of what you never do in a Russian banya to anger the Bonnick.
Yeah. You never go ask them out.
I've never got a mouth, but it felt like I was reading the fucking rules for the gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't get them wet. I was.
There's a lot. It's
shit
strict.
on. There's a lot. It's
So they're very superstitious.
Yes. Okay, so let's just go through some of them. You never go there after midnight. Do not fucking go into the bathhouse after midnight.
Mm-hmm. That's when
he likes to
Diddle.
whatever it is he's doing in there. Don't go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go alone at night. Don't go in there after midnight.
None shall be.
And if you had your baby in there, part of the midwife's job is to keep you safe. Throw rocks at the thing, whatever. She's gonna keep you safe because otherwise they're gonna snatch your baby and you won't know. Okay. All right. Do not drink alcohol in a banya.
Well, that's good.
One, I think he would get super dehydrated and drunk.
We're not supposed to drink in the hot tub either.
Okay. I just read that if you did that, there are stories that the Bonnick will it said exactly, peel your skin and pull it on the ceiling. I don't know exactly what that means.
Doesn't sound.
Does not sound good.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
Ceiling skin pulling. Don't spit on the stones. He spit back.
You shouldn't spit on the stones anyway. You're not supposed to pour water on the stones either.
Okay. He's a very, very touchy comrade. If you spit on the stones, those who do, cold sores.
Now, what do you mean by touchy? Like feely?
Yes. He's going to gently stroke your back for your good future.
Oh,
But if you spit on the stones, he's going to give you cold sores.
Well, you shouldn't ever spit on cement. You should spit in the grass. It's good spit.
Okay, well, don't spit in a Russian bathhouse. Don't share your brooms.
The oak brooms.
Your oak brooms that you're beating yourself with. I think sometimes they're made out of birch and stuff too, but don't share. Each have your own.
Mm-hmm.
Never go on Monday.
Okay.
I don't know. It said Tuesday and Thursday are the best days. And said that it was like a sacred day.
I'm glad that they're bathing. You know?
But the thing is, it's not about bathing. So the Russian bathhouse, you can bathe whenever you want. You don't have to go to a bathhouse to bathe. It's about the ritual of it. Of smacking yourself with oak brooms, steaming, cold dip, praising the old man, let your spirit. I don't know. There's a whole thing to it. It's not.
Is this
It's supposed to
guy?
make you feel good and relaxed. You
Is
know?
this guy in every bathhouse?
Yeah. You know, they all
got one?
They all got a spirit. Okay.
Okay.
Never go on Monday. Okay, so what happens if you piss this guy off? What happens if you piss him off? You're drinking, spitting on his stones. Oh, you do not have sex in that bathhouse.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. You do not have sex. I think he's going to rip your dick skin off.
And slap it to the ceiling.
Yeah, worst case scenario, boiling water. Best case scenario, excuse me. Best case scenario, boiling water.
What's boiling? 100 degrees Celsius. What is
Hot
that?
enough to burn your dick.
What is that in Fahrenheit? Like 300?
It's pretty high. No, it's not good. So don't have sex. But okay, what happens if you mess up, you bring his wrath? Okay, well what happens when you mess up and you bring his wrath, your banya gonna catch fire. You know, this coal burning wood
212.
structure. 212. Wood structure is gonna burn. So anytime they caught fire, they said that someone brought the wrath of the Bonnick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you rebuild after you've brought the wrath?
You gotta go to a different spot.
But what if you want to build in the same spot?
You shouldn't.
You can. You can. And to do that, you gotta strangle a black chicken and bury it.
I'm glad you said chicken. I was so glad you said chicken.
Specified black, that is not me. Specified a black chicken.
No, the black chickens are so cute.
Yeah.
I think I like all the chickens, though.
But specifically, I don't know, like, I feel like that's strangling a bad omen. Because aren't black animals considered, like, and like...
Racist.
No, like dogs and stuff. Black cats. In ancient folklore and stuff. It's like a symbol.
Superstition.
Yeah. Anyways, you gotta kill a black chicken, strangle it, bury it. You gotta speak incantations and leave the site without turning your back to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you build it, you gotta throw lots of salt on the stove.
You know, I'll tell you what. There was a ladder. People were working on on the roof at work for our HVAC system, and I walked around the ladder for fear of bad luck.
Yes. So did I.
You know, there's that.
So are you saying you would go? You're afraid of?
I feel like they're
bathhouses,
kind of
monsters?
going a little overboard with the superstitions.
Well,
Like I'll never like if I'm playing a hockey game and the other team doesn't have any goals yet, the only superstition that I believe in is you can't say shutout before the end of the game, or else you won't get a shutout. That's like really my only superstition. But this isn't like, oh yeah, well, hey, I gotta strangle this chicken and bury it. You know, it's like the poor chicken, and maybe you don't even have chickens, and you're like going to your neighbor's house and stealing their chicken and strangling it.
This is ancient culture, though. Some of these are still
You
practiced.
better not
like
strangle my fucking
thinking
chicken.
The bonnet and stuff like that are still practiced. But, you know, what bothers me about this one, disturbs me, is that all of these tales, folklore, stories, have come from some sort of truth, some essence of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I, like, am concerned that at some point there was a lecherous old man living behind a stove in a bathhouse in Russia, snatching children.
Pranking them, yeah.
Rubbing their backs all gentle like and saying, "You gonna have a good year." Yeah. So that's all I learned about, and I also read that the three great doctors of Russian people are garlic, vodka, and the banya. I like 2 of those 3 things.
Oh, the banya sounds nice though. I mean, you gotta do all this weird shit, but it's like, hey, it's like, you know, it's cold outside. You get to go to the bathhouse, hang out with your friends, play cards, see each other's dicks.
But you can't jerk off or he'll skin you alive.
Well, you shouldn't jerk off in company anyways.
Yes, good advice.
Good advice.
Good advice.
Keep that to yourself, listeners.
Yeah, so, you know, it's probably not the weirdest thing I've ever looked up, but Russian bathhouse in your search history probably isn't the greatest at work.
Yeah.
I was just happy to have found that.
Well, that sounds like a fun little rabbit hole. Are you ready for mine?
Is it good?
All right. I'm gonna start off with a clip.
When all the world's languages are poured into a single bowl, the word recognizable to all will be freedom. The force that binds our atoms together, the legacy we leave our children. And he will fight at any cost for its cause, until his spine collapses under the burden, until his bones are cracked and splintered and scraped like chalk on pavement, until he lies, coins on his eyes, duty done, wages paid, battle won, he will fight. For he is the champion of now and of always, of north and of south, of the air, of the fire, of the sea, of the land, of the free, of the 4th of July, of one nation, under God, indivisible. He is champion, Joey Chestnut.
We're talking competitive eating.
No.
This intro is amazing.
I was so convinced it was a political rally, and it turned out to be hot dogs. What are you talking about?
All right, Joey Jaws Chestnut this year won his 11th title at Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest with a new world record of 74 hot dogs and buns
No.
in 10 minutes.
No.
That is the new world record. It used to be 72 last year. This year, he shoved an extra 2 in his gullet. Amazing.
That is pretty disgusting.
That's pretty disgusting. All right, so this is interesting because most titles of all time, this puts him in the company of Bill Russell, the NBA champion, and Henry Richard, the NHL champion. All of them. Okay, so Joey Chestnut, Bill Russell, Henry Richard, all have 11 championship titles. Okay? So, next year, these guys are retired. Next year, he can take the title of the most championship titles of all time.
It's not a sport, though. Eating hot dogs is not a sport.
Okay, how many hot dogs can you eat in 10 minutes?
Oh, I'll show you later.
Not fucking 74.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a world class. He's not an athlete.
It's Okay, there's a lot of like science that goes into this, and like it's pretty crazy. Like they have to, like they regularly just like chew a bunch of bubble gum all the time to like get their jaw to like be strong enough, and they do like esophagus, like they like
What?
they can't see
I
what I'm
wish
doing, but
everyone
I'm
could
like
see your emotion
I'm
right
like
now.
rolling my shoulders.
What
You know,
does that do? Strengthen your esophagus?
it like gets it going. It wiggles it down and stuff like, and like then you'll see them jumping around, and there's all sorts of like crazy techniques, and like it's a sport. It's not a conventional
Well,
sport.
doggone it. 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes is pretty impressive.
74, and he's like packing them in. Watch these videos, people. So okay, so then this sparked another thing. So a Nathan's hot dog has 24 carbs in it.
Okay.
Joey ate 74 hot dogs.
Okay.
So 24 times 74 is 1,776. So
Oh, shit.
7/4/1776 is the date Independence Day, right? Remember,
Yes.
242 years ago?
I wasn't there, but yeah, I've been told, you know,
And-
by what they tell me. I don't know if it's true.
Therefore, it was really actually signed on like the 6th or something like
Right.
that, but they just called it 4th of July. Anyways, but this is the most American stat in history. He ate 74, which was 1776 carbs on Independence Day. Boom, there's a date. Take that, Britain. We out.
That is very, 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 very patriotic.
It's disgustingly
It's
patriotic.
disgustingly patriotic, and I will say he is the worst with a U.
He is the winner of the coveted mustard belt. Is what it's called. It's like a WWE belt. You get a big fucking belt.
Did he relish every moment of that?
The mustard belt is said to be of unknown age and value, according to the IFOCE co-founder George Shea.
Okay. I don't know anything you just said.
It is the coveted, international, bejeweled mustard belt. Mustard yellow belt. The belt is unknown age and value. So, I mean, it doesn't sound more mysterious and awesome.
It sounds very mysterious, and I want to know what kind of mustard it is. Is it Dijon?
No, it's French's, man.
French's?
Sorry. Yeah.
I was looking for some Grey Poupon.
Joey used to have a huge rivalry with Takuro Tsunami Kobayashi. Everybody's got awesome fucking nicknames, like Joey Jaws.
Joey Jaws.
Takuro Tsunami
Well, they know him as Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Because you're gonna eat it like Kobayashi. Oh no.
So Kobayashi won it for 6 years in a row until 2007, when Joey won it with 66 hot dogs with buns. Since then, Joey has dominated. He's won every year since 2007, except for 2015, when Matt Megatoad Stormy.
Megatoad?
Megatoad.
Stony.
It's a motherfucking big toad.
So we got Kobayashi.
And he got 62 to Joey had 60. He got
So
him
we
by
got
2.
Matt Stoney. We got
Megatoad.
Megatoad. We got Kobayashi,
Tsunami.
which, by the way, Kobayashi Maru from Star Trek.
Okay.
And we've got Joey Chestnut. He's got a really lame name.
Joey Jaws.
Joey Giles Chestnut.
Joey Jaws. He's got the same fucking jaws as the Baba Yaga. He's got some fucking steel jaws.
To my own teeth.
So, check this out. Our boy Chestnut, which we should all be, he's an American hero. He's a champion. His other world records, he's got, I think it said 40.
Oh.
Did it say 40? He has a lot. I just picked a few. So 15-pound shrimp cocktail in 8 minutes.
Oh, with the sauce?
I don't know. 12.8 pounds deep fried asparagus, 10 minutes. 13.76 pounds pork ribs, 12 minutes.
Oh my.
What is this slab like that we make, like the St. Louis style? Like, that's probably like
2 pounds?
2-3 pounds.
and we have like 3 meals
And you
together.
don't eat the bones.
He's not eating the bones, is he?
You better not be eating the bones. 141 hard-boiled eggs, 8 minutes.
Wait, hold on. So, like, what's that Cool Hand Luke when he eats all the hard-boiled eggs?
Well, okay, so Gaston had what, 5
Every
dozen
morning
eggs?
I eat 5 dozen eggs.
When I was a lad, I had 4 dozen eggs to help me get something in strong.
Now he's as large as a barge.
Now, as a man, I eat 5 dozen eggs, and I'm merely the size
Of a barge.
So, your boy Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, he's eating 5 dozen eggs, 60. And, you know, there's no time limit. Nobody asking how fast. But
That's a lot of eggs in the morning.
Joey's doing it 141 in 8 minutes, so that's a little bit more than twice.
Okay, but he's not doing that every day. Gaston was doing that every morning. How many calories is that? I think there's like 90-ish calories in an egg.
Joey's got to be small, so he has the fat gets in the way from stomach expansion. You can expand your stomach 4 times its size. It's supposed to be a liter. Like a normal stomach will be about a liter, but you can train it to be up to 4 liters. But you can't be a fat boy.
So Gaston
Or
was,
girl.
wait, I'm just still hung up on this that he was ingesting 5,400 calories every morning. Assuming he doesn't use any sort of oil or...
How many calories is in the egg?
About 90, I'm pretty sure. It's less than 100, but more than 80.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
so he ate like 15,000 calories in eggs. Were they're hard boiled?
He's a big boy.
No, Joe Chestnut.
No, Joey Chestnut did this for that
And
day.
they were hard boiled.
For that day, yeah.
Like I feel like the yolk kind of it dries you up.
No one eats like Joey Chestnut. No one. Anyways.
Smells like feet like Joey Chestnut. I just imagine he's stinky.
Yeah. I mean,
You gotta get the meat sweats.
he's a national hero. Okay, so we got another
International hero.
A national hero.
Okay.
I said. We have another hero named Molly Schuyler. Schuyler.
Yep, I think that's Skylar, and she hails from
Bellevue, Nebraska. Our
Yes.
neighbor, suburb of Omaha,
yes.
where we are from. She, in February, ate 501 wings in 1/2 hour at the Wing Bowl in Philadelphia, PA.
501 chicken wings. Drummies or flats or both?
I didn't look into that. I'm guessing they're flats because they can fucking hog them.
I've seen her eat before. And she just sucked the meat right off the bone.
She just sucks the meat.
I think she doesn't even have to.
That steak video that we watched at work, holy shit.
72 ounces of steak.
Like, I go over to her cube and then she's like, oh, no.
And we watched a tiny woman eat 72 ounces of steak plus the sides in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just hunks of meat. She just picked it up and like...
She's 46, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think she's got teeth. I think she just gums it.
Stuffing this shit down.
She's just swallowing it whole. I mean, I bet her husband's a very happy man.
They moved to California. She's making, you get some sponsorships. You're sponsored by Pepto-Bismol. You got some fucking Pepto-Bismol coming in, probably by the pallet. You know, you're living large. I didn't talk about this already, but the women's winner was Mickey Sudo, and she holds the Pepto-Bismol sponsored pink belt.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty
Opposed
happy.
to the mustard belt?
Yep. So the ladies version, the ladies competition started in 2011, and the current champion is Mickey.
Okay.
And the first champion of that one in 2011 was Sonya, the Black Widow.
Oh, that.
Or Sonya. Sonya, the Black Widow.
It's pretty good. I want a professional eating name.
You gotta. I mean, how many eggs can you eat in 10 minutes?
Like 4.
A lot of people in the competitive eating circuit
Okay.
have awesome fucking names. So there's Joey Jaws Chestnut, Then you got Bill L. Wingador Simmons.
El Wingador.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So then
snap.
Sonia, the Black Widow Thomas, I just said. And then there's Mark, Big Rig.
I thought you were just gonna leave it at Mark. I was like, oh yeah.
Is it Big Rig Roding?
Okay.
Whatever. Who cares his last name? His name's Mark Big Rig. And then there's Kevin, aka Heavy Kevy
Heavy Kevy.
O'Donnell. Yep.
Heavy Kevy O'Donnell.
Yep. And so, all of this shit sparked from my buddy from grade school posted the championship that Joey Chestnut joined the greats with the 11 championships. He posted that on Facebook, and I mean,
Okay.
that's where this all came from on Facebook. And then, yeah, I mean, it was like sent me down this rabbit hole. So I encourage you guys to go check out some competitive eating challenges because it's pretty insane.
I didn't look at as much of it as you did, except for I did look at videos of Molly Schuyler, and if you want to be simultaneously amazed and aroused, go watch her. Go watch her gobble down 72 ounces of steak and sides in 2 minutes, and she did that 3 times in an hour.
So at the end of every episode, I'm not gonna call them fun facts, which I call them. 1, wombats poop cubes.
You're gonna steal my topics.
I got it right there.
I know.
You can buy a human skeleton on the internet for $4,800. Number 3 is jackfruit is a fruit that when cooked can taste like pulled pork. It's actually kind of like tofu, so you can cook it and you season it however you want, and it tastes like meat.
Well, tofu is the flavor sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And actually,
Same thing with
cauliflower
jackfruit.
is the tofu flavor sponge of vegetable oil.
Yeah, but cauliflower is kind of delicious. Okay. Lab tests have confirmed that wrinkly hands and feet have improved grip on wet objects.
Did you specifically put that in there because we've been making fun of you for your pruny
I'm
hands
a wrinkle boy. Yeah,
when we swim?
that'll happen. A lottery winner dumped $200,000 worth of manure on his former boss's lawn.
Okay, we went over this one, and I am not okay with that statistic because I want to know how much manure $200,000 can buy you. We could not find an actual fact, or like a statistic for average cost of shit per pound, and I'd really like to know that
The
statistic.
problem is, that is a lie. It was spread around on the internet. It was started off by like a parody site, and then other people like popped it off. And that is a lesson for you listeners to use Snopes, please.
Well, and also wombats pooping cubes is also a lie because wombats live in Australia, which we all know doesn't actually exist, only on the internet.
Stay curious, everybody. Like, there's a lot of like crazy shit that you can look into, and it's fun. Like, I'm not ever afraid to just fucking Google it, and fuck it, it's fun. So, in our podcast, as we continue, we're going to continue to bring up some weird shit, and some of it makes sense, some of it's bullshit, but it's all interesting and fun to fucking, research a little bit. Why not?
Why not?
Why
I always
not?
say, why not?
So, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.